Welcome to the webinar today. My name is Annie Ruden, and I will be hosting this webinar for Pronunciation Pro. So this webinar is for our Pronunciation Pro students who are going through the 12-week program to improve their English pronunciation and fluency. So welcome to all those who are here and are showing up now. We will be doing a question and answer session during this webinar to answer any questions that you have as you're going through the Pronunciation Pro online program and help you get some answers, get some feedback, and feel more confident in what you're learning and what you're experiencing here in this program. So it's nice to be here today. I do these webinars every 2 weeks, and my last webinar, I was so sick the night before the webinar that I had to cancel. And I think that's the first time I've canceled a webinar in the 3 or 4 years that I've been doing this. So I was obviously very sick, but glad to be feeling good now and glad to be here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So a little introduction to myself, if this is your first time with Pronunciation Pro. My name is Annie Ruden. I am a certified speech-language pathologist, and I'm nationally certified with the American Speech-Language Hearing Association. And basically, I've chosen to specialize in accent reduction training, which has been absolutely wonderful. I've enjoyed this specialty and working with people like you from all over the world and working on helping you feel more confident in the way you speak. So helping you be able to learn the skills necessary to pronunciate clearly and to use the rhythm of American English so that you can be understood clearly, which really brings so much confidence that I've found with my students. As you develop those skills and you're better understood and you're having more success in your communication with other native speakers and other English speakers, then that confidence really builds and you're able to share your talents and your expertise in a way that in the way that you really hope to, because that communication is such an essential part of your career. And I want to make sure that that's not a barrier for you. So that's why we're here and what we want to do to help. And this is my family. It's my husband and our 3 young boys. So Andrew's in the middle. He's 7. Jimmy is 5. And then Luke is 2, almost 3. He'll be 3 in June. All right. And this is our couple of our team members here. Gideani helps to answer emails and help with accounts. So if you ever have a question or ever need anything figured out, just email me and we'll get it taken care of. And Andrea works very closely with a lot of our Plus and Premier students to help with that personalized training, to get that feedback and personalized training through the Pronunciation Pro course. All right. Okay, so we're just going to jump right into questions. Let me see. Shadow, I'm not seeing you here yet, but let's go ahead and go through her question and we'll see. And go ahead and raise your hand if maybe you have a name on your name is different on the webinar than I know you by. But Shadow is a member of our program here. And she emailed and said, I have a problem when I practice the S and Z sounds, okay? And this is something that a lot of our students kind of have questions about. She says that the S is easy for me, but the Z is very hard, especially in sentences. And this is actually for a lot of our Spanish and Portuguese students, even a lot of the Asian languages, this Z sound can be very difficult. So in the week 1 practice material, there's some practice sentences that are difficult for her. So what she's talking about is when a one word ends in S, the next, or Z, really, when one word ends in Z and the next word starts with an S sound, how can you get those sounds to kind of coordinate, and how exactly does that work? So in week 1, we talk about voiced and voiceless sounds. So we're contrasting the S and the Z, and that's the only difference between the S and the Z. The mouth's position is exactly the same. The only difference is the voicing. Okay, S is voiceless. You're not going to feel any vibration in the throat. And Z is voiced. Okay, there you will feel vibration in the throat. So that's the only difference, is whether your throat is vibrating or not. Okay, so when we're connecting them or linking them, and linking we actually talk about more in detail in week 6 or 7, but I'll kind of give a little bit of information about the linking. So when we're linking, when there's two sounds that have the same position, there's going to be kind of a shared pronunciation of these. So what you want to do, especially when there's the Z and the S sound, because, do you do the Z sound? Do you do the S? How can you move from the Z to the S without it just sounding like an S? So here's my advice on this. So on this one, after he hit his sister, so what we want to do is, in the first week, you learn about kind of holding out that vowel before the voiced consonant, holding that vowel a little bit longer so that the ending sounds voiced. Okay, his sister, his sister. So I don't necessarily go his sister, and really get that z sound at the end, but I do emphasize the I sound, his sister, his sister. Okay, so that Z kind of does get a little bit swallowed up into that S sound, but because I've really voiced that vowel in I and kind of held it a little bit longer, then it gives that voiced quality to that ending. And so it's not just his sister, his sister, his sister. We want it to be his sister, okay? Not his sister, his sister. Do you hear the difference there? Okay. And then the other sentence, so after he hit his sister, he hid under the bed. And then his snake will hiss if you get too close. His snake. So you kind of have to push that vowel a little bit with your voice. His snake. Okay, does anybody want to try this? There's like a raised hand icon on the dial. There we go. Sunny, go ahead. All right, Sunny, you there?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so
Hey, Annie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Sunny?
Good.
Good to have you here again. All right, and we do have a few of your words or questions that we'll be working on too, but go ahead and go through these 2 sentences for me.
After he hid his sister, he hid under his bed.
Okay, so do his bed. Kind of hold out that I again. His bed.
His bed.
Okay.
His bed.
Okay, and get those endings. That's the big one for you, Sunny, is those endings.
I
His
know.
bed, right? His
His
bed.
bed. Bed.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, so his sister. Those 2 words again. His sister.
His sister.
Yeah, and I think that's perfectly fine, because in connected speech, it's not always perfect as far as like, oh, that's definitely a voice sound or anything like that. But it will be much easier understood when we kind of emphasize that vowel so that we can get that voicing on. Okay, do number 2 for me.
His snake will hiss if you get too close.
Good. Okay. Okay, snake. Get the SN in there. I heard SL, so snake.
Snake.
So do
Snake.
his snake.
His snake. Snake.
There you go. And connect it. So let's get it all kind of flowing together and connecting. His snake.
His snake will
Perfect.
hiss.
Yes, that's exactly right. His snake. Do it one more time.
His snake will
Yep,
hiss if you get too close.
exactly. That's exactly it. Okay, good. Thank you, Sunny.
Thank you.
All right. So, okay. So Raquel had a question about the TH sound, and this is a question that I get a lot during that week 2 where we're talking about that TH, the voiced TH and the voiceless TH. Okay. So the question basically is, okay, I can't really hear the difference between the voiced and the voiceless. So we definitely want to make sure that in that final voice consonant lesson, if you're not hearing the difference between the voiced and the voiceless sound, really concentrate on that section that talks about the TH sound, and contrast that voiced and voiceless, because the voiced needs to have that vibration sound to it. Okay? And the voiceless is, so it has more of an airy sound to it. Okay, so what you really want to make sure with this TH sound, in connected speech, it really is, depending on the person, they might not emphasize the voiced versus the voiceless very well. Okay, there's a lot of, and as I've worked with students like you, I've become more and more aware when I'm listening to native speakers to see, okay, how many really pronounce this strongly and how many kind of pronounce it pretty weak as far as native speakers. And it's probably more common that they're pronouncing it weaker. So to be able to hear the difference when someone's in conversation is probably quite tricky. So let's really concentrate on kind of identifying the difference, and then kind of the strategies there are to knowing how to pronounce the difference. Okay, so as far as the position, so what Raquel had said is, do they really have different sounds or different positions in the mouth to make them different? And the position of the mouth is exactly the same. So I really want to emphasize that. With the voiced and the voiceless TH sound, the mouth is the same. It's the same as we were talking about the S and Z. The mouth is the same. The only difference is the voicing. Okay, so they're called pairs. So what we want to make sure is the mouth position is so important. So even down here, I say make sure your mouth position is correct. Okay, that's the very, very most important thing with the TH sound, is make sure your mouth position is correct. And that means that tongue is kind of between those two, your front teeth. The. It's right there between your front teeth. It's not above, or it becomes a D, and it's not below, or becomes an S. Okay? It has to be right there between your front teeth. And I do see a lot of native speakers where they don't necessarily open their teeth very much to let their tongue kind of slip through. They kind of do it right, kind of put their tongue behind their teeth, but it's right there behind their front teeth. It's not up, it's not down. Okay, to get that accurate TH sound, it has to be right there in the middle. All right, so the position of the mouth needs to be correct to get this sound. And then just bring your awareness and your practice to the sounds, especially in the videos that I'm doing with the voiced TH and the voiceless TH. Bring your awareness to, okay, what does that voiced sound like? The, this, that, them, those. That vibration sound, the. Because if I substitute a TH sound, the, this, that, those, that would be having the voiceless sound. So the, the, the. Okay, that's the difference between a voiced and voiceless sound in the word the. Okay, so hopefully you can kind of hear that difference. If not, go to the listening quizzes for those TH sounds and really think about it. So, and really just listen and repeat. Okay, so make sure your mouth is correct for those. Bring your awareness to that voicing. And the other question is, how do I know if the word has a voiced TH sound or a voiceless sound? So this is such a common question, because really there is no real rule that tells us whether it's voiced or whether it's voiceless. Those sheets of words that I give you as part of the lesson. Those are meant to give you kind of a lot of common words that have either the voiced or the voiceless sounds. One thing I can say is the voice sound is most common in the beginning of the words, especially in English, those really high frequency, those high frequency words, the, this, them, those, that, they, all of those have that voiced TH sound. The voiceless sound tends to come at the end, so like with, fifth, fourth. Some of those have that voiceless TH sound at the end. Okay, so really it's a matter of kind of bringing your awareness to that voicing, get your mouth in position, and really what I find most often than not, and this is probably about 80% of the time, you're probably going to get the voicing correct naturally, because what I see is a lot of my students, instead of saying the voiced TH sound, they say duh. Instead of the voiceless sound, they say ta, 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 which is already voiceless. And the D, duh, duh, is already voiced. So you might already be kind of getting that difference naturally. And then that last 20%, it's just a matter of, the more you practice and become aware of this sound, you'll start hearing it from other native speakers, and you'll hear specific words like another. You'll be like, oh, that's voiced. Okay. And you'll start getting it more and more. Okay. So hopefully that helps those who are wondering about that TH sound. I think. Okay. So the next one, the next few slides I have are mostly to do with specific words. And really what I want to do with these specific words is to go through them, but identify some common rules that go through some of these words, and help kind of remind you of these rules that you're learning throughout the program as we go through specific words. Okay? So Charlie, you there?
Yes.
Hi, Charlie. Good. How are you doing?
Quite well, thanks.
Good. I know it's early. I think it's like 4 a.m. where you are, right?
Yeah, it's a 4:15.
Okay. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Okay. So let's go through some of these words that you were asking about. So in this set of words, the only difference is the vowel. Okay. So you have the vowels are the only difference. So let's go through these. Now, Charlie sent me the words, and then he sent me the IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet version of it. And then I kind of added the Ruden Phonetics version of it, okay? So that you kind of have both to look at. All right, so go ahead and say this for me, Charlie.
Mill.
Good, mill. So it's that sound, ill, mill.
Mill.
Mm-hmm.
Meal.
Good. So that one's more of a wider. Meal. Me. So the e. Good.
Mail.
Mm-hmm. Good. So that's that long a. Male. Male. Mm-hmm. And then this one?
And finally, male.
Okay, male. Good. So these two, male and male, like I'm going to go get the mail, and he is male. Same pronunciation.
Nice.
Okay, so those are going to be exactly the same. What's that?
Are those homophones? Same pronunciation, right? That's called homophones.
Yeah, homophones. Exactly, homophones. Yep. Okay, so go through these four, one right after another.
All right. Mill. Meal. Mail. Mail.
Mm-hmm, good. And this one, you kind of really emphasize the E sound in it. So let's put it in a sentence to make sure that it's nice and natural. She invited me for a meal at her house.
She invited me for a meal at her house.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Very good. Very good. Okay, before we move on from this, does anybody else want to try it? Okay. Okay. Govinda. So, Charlie, I'll come back to you because we have more of your words, but let me give Govinda a chance to say these. All right, Govinda, you there?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Okay. So go ahead and say these 4 words for me.
Meal, meal, mail, mail.
Okay, so the key is this difference between mill and meal. So on this one, meal, I want it to be a little bit wider. Meal.
Meal, meal,
So a little longer on
meal,
this. Me.
meal,
Uh-huh.
meal.
There you go. So it has that E sound to it. So it's kind of like you're saying me,
Mhm.
meal.
Me, meal,
Yeah, exactly.
meal.
Uh-huh. So we met at the old mill. Say that for me.
We met at the old mill.
And we ate a meal together.
We had ate a meal together.
Good. Yep, I'm hearing a good difference there. Okay, so let's go ahead and just jump into, you had a question here. It says, I have a confusion about the G and the Z, about how to pronounce them,
Right.
how to find the difference. So let me kind of move into this blank worksheet that I have here. So G, when you're saying G, do you mean G or do you mean J?
Ga.
G sound. Okay.
Yes.
So the G sound, things like gate and good, things like that. So that G sound.
My question was like when I want to say when I spell my name to others, and when I say
Oh, yes.
G and they write the G, something like that.
Okay, that makes
That's the problem.
G. Okay, so what we want to do, yes, that makes a lot of sense because they do sound very similar to each other. Okay, so that's the difference between the J sound, J, so say that for me, J,
J, J, J.
And the Z sound, Z.
Z.
Okay, so yeah, so it's that voicing that you're having a hard time kind of getting that in. So Z.
Z.
So do the S sound because we want to make sure we get the mouth. It's the same position as the S sound. Perfect. Okay, exact same position. Now we got to turn on our voice. So Z.
Z. Z.
Exactly. Do it again.
Z.
Okay, so do this for me. Z.
Z.
And we want to get that E. Z.
Z.
Okay, and it's just your voice is kind of wanting to stop in the middle of that, and we have to have a continuous. So do this for me. Zoo.
Zoo.
So what's happening is you're kind of wanting, you're trying to, your mouth is wanting to do zoo instead of z, zoo.
Zoo.
Okay, so we want to kind of keep your tongue away from it.
Zoo.
Okay. So when you're doing G, so do G.
G.
And
G.
Z.
G.
Okay, so it's that Z. So do a little bit more of that Z.
Z. Z.
Okay, so don't stop it, just Z.
Z.
Yeah, there you go. Z.
Z.
Okay, so I want you to practice that you can get like that continuous Z sound without stopping it. because that's the difference. The j has more of like a burst sound to it. J, G, kind of burst sound. The Z is more continuous. Z.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so that's the difference, and you're going to have to practice that to get that. And it's mostly that Z, because the G, you're getting correct, but that Z is where you need to focus, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, we're going to jump back over to our list of words here. Okay, a few more words here. And again, I'll kind of go through some of the commonalities that are happening throughout these. Okay, so here we have, and Charlie, I just unmuted you again, so we'll be able to go through these together. Go ahead and do this last one, this first one for me.
Old.
Good. So this one has that O, that long O. So it's going to be that rounded O. Old.
Old.
Good. And same thing with here. We're going to have that rounded O. So do it again. Do this one.
Only.
Only. Good. Only.
Only. Loads.
Good. Same one. Loads. Has that O sound. Loads.
Should I try to round my lips a lot? Like really make an effort to round my lips into a circle, like loads of bugs.
Yeah, so loads of bugs. So it kind of goes from an kind of a wide open shape down to the kind of that rounded lips. Odes, old, only. So you're right. It kind of comes from open to closed in those. Okay, so do old, only, loads.
Old, only, loads.
Okay, now the next one.
Well, the next one is very tough for me. Like, I'll try like depths.
Yes, okay, so this is very, very tricky because there's 3 consonants right there in a row. And so, yeah, this is going to be tricky even for native speakers. So depths. So what we want to do for this one, and here's kind of a trick for this one, we're going to bring our lips together for the P, but we're not going to release any kind of a sound to it, okay? Depths. So what we're going to do is going to kind of bring your lips together for the P, and then stick your tongue out for the TH, and then bring it back in. And that THS is very common, like months and depths and I can't think of many other ones, but the months happens quite a bit. We were there for several months. And it basically is just getting that TH, that tongue between the teeth, and then pulling it back in and closing the teeth off for that S sound. So let's just focus on the THS. Yeah, so it's kind of one continuous sound. You keep the airflow going, but you just put that tongue between your lips and then between your teeth and then kind of pull it back in. Yeah, okay. So then you just bring your lips together for the P, stick your tongue out for the TH and pull it back in. Depths.
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 Okay, very, 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 very close. So just kind of practice that movement because it's just coordinating your mouth between those movements. Depths. But it's kind of I mean, even for a native speaker, it just feels awkward in your mouth. The depths. And I'm trying to think if I've naturally, even used this word in conversation, not very often. Depths. Okay, good.
Like there's an idiom saying you are way out of your depths. Like an idiom, right? Like common saying in English. You say to someone, you are way out of your depths.
That's true. Yes, I've heard that saying again. You're way out of your depths. And when you said that, that totally worked. Depths.
Depths.
Yep, exactly. Good. Okay, next one.
Forlorn.
Forlorn. So that has that or. That's that R vowel or. Forlorn.
Or. Forlorn.
Yeah, and the trick is especially is getting that L to the R. Forlorn.
Exactly. And back to R again.
Yeah, because the R comes back there, and then the L and the R back, back in the throat again. Forlorn.
Yeah. Forlorn.
Yep, you're getting it though. So next one.
Directions.
Perfect. Yep, directions. Yep, next one.
Wolf.
Wolf. Good. So this is that dark L sound that you work on. Wolf.
Wolf.
Yeah, I like
Wolf.
it. And then.
Okay. This is supposed to be stressed, right? Like pulse.
Yeah, pulse. So it has that dark L again, where we don't really touch the L to the roof of our mouth. It's just pulse.
Pulse.
Exactly. Same here.
Pulse.
Bulb.
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 The final B, it's a voice B, right? So
Bulb.
do we really like drag the vowel ahead of the B in front of the B a bit longer? Bulb.
So you'll want to get more of that voice on it. Bulb. So the dark L has that voice on it. Oh. So you'll just kind of keep that voice on. Bulb, and just do a
Bulb.
Bulb.
Okay. Bulb.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Okay, so read through all those words, and then I'm going to ask for a volunteer if someone else that wants to read through these too. Okay, so go ahead,
All right,
Charlie.
here we go. Old. Only. Loads. Depths. Forlorn. Directions. Wolf. Pulse. Bulb.
Yep, good. And then that ending bulb, you just make sure you don't turn off your voice, so you don't want it to be bulb. You want it to be bulb.
Bulb. I actually have a question. If I recall correctly, during your first lesson, you shared that for final voice consonant, we should try to drag the vowel in front of it for a bit longer. So in this case, that is applicable too, right? Like bulb.
So that dark L is kind of like in a lot of these rules, it's considered a vowel sound. Bulb. So you just emphasize that bulb. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. There you go. Okay, does anybody else want to try these words before we move on? There's a little raised hand icon. Okay, Sunny, I'm going to have you try it. So Charlie, I'll come back to you. All right, Sunny, go ahead.
Old. Only. Loads.
Okay, do that one again. Loads.
Yeah.
Loads.
No. Lows.
Okay, we want to get that D and the Z together. Do this for me. Z.
Loads. No. Lows.
And we're going to keep that tongue between, kind of there in the front. Loads.
So you don't pronounce the D. Loads with the D and S.
Yeah, you won't release the D. You'll just put the D right in position and then release the Z. Loads.
Lows.
Much better. Okay, next one.
Dab. No. How to say dab?
Yeah, so this one's a tricky one. So do this to the THS for me. So it's a lot of airflow there, right? So depth.
Dab.
Okay, close.
Dab.
Yeah, and you'll get that. You just kind of have to practice those separate movements and then bring them together. Okay? Depth.
I'm still having the problem with the TH.
Yeah, that TH.
Forlorn.
Mm-hmm.
forlorn,
And get that R back for
direction,
the, here, do this for me. Or,
or
forlorn.
forlorn,
Yeah, there you go. You got that R
forlorn,
back on that. Good.
directions.
And you bring up a good point because I say directions, but I've also heard a lot of people say directions, like you just said. So directions or directions, I've heard both.
But it both is correct.
Both is correct.
Direct.
Yep, I've heard both correctly used.
Okay. Wolf, pose,
Good.
bug,
Get more of that dark L. Bulb.
bulb,
Good. Bulb.
bulb.
Yep, that's it. Okay, good
I
job,
need
Sonny.
a lot of practice.
That's it. Just takes practice, right? It's just a muscle movement. The more you exercise those muscles, the more they'll move the way you want to. All right, good job, Sonny. Uh-huh. All right, good. Okay, so I think this is the last set of words for Charlie. And any of you, if you guys are, any of you are having problems, any specific words, then send them over to me. I like to, the words are good because it kind of can pull out different rules. Like this next one, Charlie, I've unmuted you. So this next one, I want to emphasize a certain idea here. So go ahead with the first one.
All right. World.
World. Good. Okay, so the word that is a lot of times mistaken for this one is just word. Okay? World, word. And the biggest difference between that is just that dark L in the middle. World, word. Okay, so say those two words for me.
All right. As in world, as in past tense of are, is it world?
Sorry, word,
World.
like these are examples of words. You know, the
I
word.
see. Example of words. How do you pronounce these words?
Yeah, this word. So let's do it just singular. Word.
Word.
There you go. And then
Word.
do world.
World.
There you go.
World.
Yep. So there's a very definite dark L in there. Good. Okay. How about this one?
All right. I have a trouble saying New York. So
Yes.
pork.
Pork and New York. Yeah, it has that or, that R vowel. Or. Do that for me. Or.
Or, pork. New York.
Okay.
Pork.
Yeah, so pork. So what we're doing is we're kind of pulling that R back into the back of this throat, and then we're kind of getting that, the tongue stays back there for the K. Orc.
I can't do that, unfortunately. I can't do the bunch R. I do the retroflex.
Oh, that's right. So you're doing pork. Okay, so
pork.
That makes sense that it's harder to kind of pull it back to the K. So do this for me. Orc.
Orc.
Pork. Yeah.
Pork.
Yeah. And then New York.
New York.
Yep. That sounds great.
Marks.
Okay, so this one's that R.
Marks.
There you go. So if you're kind of coming across some of those R's, especially the R vowels, isolate the R vowel, that or, R, ear, and whatever the R vowel is, isolate it, R, marks, and then pull it into the word.
Marks. That makes sense.
Much easier.
Marks. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Clergy.
So that one's that right? So that clergy.
Clergy.
Okay, and we're gonna get a stronger G.
Clergy.
There you go, clergy.
G, right? That G.
Yeah.
Right?
So it needs a stronger G. Yeah, G. Just like we were talking with Govinda about the Z. G needs to be that stronger. G.
Clergy.
Yeah.
Clergy.
Because that G sound is kind of a pop sound. G. It's a popping.
I was afraid if I said G too strongly, the stress in this word would be misplaced. Like the word stress is in the primary syllabus, right? The first syllabus. So it's like
Exactly.
clergy. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
clergy.
okay, that you bring up a good point there, because when we're emphasizing sounds, kind of getting more of that emphasized sound, it's more kind of to make sure that we're getting our mouth in position. So I'm not necessarily wanting you to do clergy, and kind of stress that, but we have to get the mouth in the right position. So we start emphasizing that sound just to get the mouth in position. But once it's not so much so much of a problem that you're able to get your mouth in the right position, then you don't have to stress it as much. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
G,
makes
G.
sense.
Because we can do G, G, G until you get familiar with it, and then we can kind of tone it down. G, G, G. Okay, clergy.
Clergy.
Mm-hmm. All right, good. Next one.
Course.
Mm-hmm. Okay, another one of those or course, right?
40.
Mm-hmm. So do or 40.
Or 40.
Good. And I write in, and it's interesting because I saw the difference between the IPA, it said a t sound, and in standard American English, we always, most of the time native speakers will say 30 with the D, right? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 with the D instead of the T. So it wouldn't be 30, 40, 50, that you
Yeah,
rarely
it
hear that in
confuses me
American
a lot.
English.
Like once a lady told me that the way I pronounce 30, it reminds me of a word like turd, T-U-R-D. And if you pronounce T-U-R-D-Y, it becomes full of shit. 30.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the
So because
difference between
yeah,
the F and the T sound, right?
yeah,
Or, 30, or the TH and the T sound. 30, 30 with the TH sound versus turd. Yeah, turdy, right? Yep.
30.
30. Yep. Okay, how about this one?
Um,
So,
fall 40.
yep. So the
Yeah.
next one,
That's
faculty, I put faculty and faculty because I have heard this both ways. Correct.
I see, but this machine is 40,
Oh,
right?
the one before, 40. 40.
No, like this word, are you talking about faculty as in professors or
Yes.
a 40 machine?
Oh,
Faulty.
faulty. Sorry, I read that wrong.
Oh,
Faulty. I was thinking faculty.
I see.
Faulty. Fall, just like I fell. I'm going to fall
Oh,
down. Faulty.
oh,
Faulty.
faulty,
Now, in
faulty.
this one is definitely a T sound. Faulty.
All
Faulty.
right, so unlike the number before it, 40, that's a T sound for 40. It's a 40 machine.
Oh, okay.
Right.
40
So if we
and
if we chain
fall.
up like yeah, there are 40 machines in that room.
Okay, there are 40 faulty machines. So the
40.
difference, the difference is that vowel for fall and the D versus the T.
I see.
40, 40 faulty.
40, 40,
All right, good.
40, 40,
Okay, do that again. 40 faulty.
40, 40,
There you go. Faulty.
40,
Faulty.
40.
Okay, so yeah, disregard that Ruden phonetics there. I was reading it wrong. Okay, next one.
Pull,
So this one's pull, pull. It's kind of a deeper sound. Pull, and then
pull.
pool has a more rounded pool.
All right, the lips should be more rounded in the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Pull.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Pool.
are we
Pull.
talking about the second or the first one? Okay,
So the first
pull.
one is pull, pull. Second one is pool, pool.
All right, let's try it in sequence. Pull, pool,
Do it again.
pull, pool.
Good. So I will, let's see. I will pull you into the pool.
Okay, let's try that sentence. I will pull you into the pool.
There you go. Good. Good. All right, good. Okay, does anybody else want to try this?
Thanks.
Charlie, good job. Okay, let's see. Arasu?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, Annie.
Hello.
Hope you feel better.
Oh,
Hi.
thank you. Okay, so let's go through some of these words together, okay?
Okay. World,
Okay, do it again.
pork,
Or do that first one again.
world,
World. Good. Yeah, pull that R a little bit farther back. World.
world,
Okay.
world. Oh, I
Good.
see. World. So
Good.
R is, okay, world. Okay.
Yeah, so when you kind of get that R more, further back in there, then it really gets that stronger sound in there. So good job.
Can you say it one more?
Yeah, so
once?
world.
World,
Mm-hmm.
pork,
So do this one for me. Or pork.
or, pork,
Okay.
pork, pork. Oh, I see. So R sounds pork. March,
So
march,
good. So what your mouth is wanting to kind of roll the R sound and kind of trill it. So you want to keep that nice smooth R. So marks.
march,
There you go. That's it. Marks.
march.
Yes. Good. Next one.
Clergy,
Yeah, there you go. Clergy.
clergy.
Good. Next one.
Course,
Yes. Good. Nice smooth R there. Course.
course.
Okay. How about this one?
40,
40.
40,
Good. Good. And it's
40,
emphasis on the first syllable. So 40. Good.
40,
And then this
40.
one's faulty, right?
Faulty,
Yes. Good. With that good T sound.
faulty,
Faulty.
faulty, faulty.
Good. Next one.
Pull,
Good.
pool.
Yes. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so I see you did have another. I saw your questions in there. Oh, not so much a question, but just
No, yeah,
just a comment. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
sure.
All right. Okay, we'll kind of move on here. Let's see. Abdinasar. Abdinasar, you there? Oh, it looks like your microphone's not quite working. I'll leave you unmuted. Oh, in case you can get it working. Abdinasar, you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, perfect. All right. All right, excellent. You want to go through these words for me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Let's hear it.
World,
Yes.
pork,
Okay, we want to get your tongue's pretty far back there. We want to kind of bring it a little bit forward. So, say this for me. Or.
or,
So you're pulling it really far back. We don't want it to kind of cover the back of your throat, too far back into your throat. So or. Okay.
or,
Let's see. Let's say this for me. How are you?
How are you?
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna kind of emphasize it less. And sometimes when we really focus on a word, it becomes different than if we're saying it in a sentence. So I want to eat pork.
I want to eat pork.
There you go, much better. Okay, marks.
Yes, marks.
There you go, good. Okay, next one.
Clergy.
There you go, good. Clergy.
Course.
Yes, there you go. That's that kind of more relaxed R. That's great.
40.
Yes, that's it.
Faulty.
Faulty, good.
Pool. Pool.
Good. So pool, that rounded. Perfect. All right, good. What week of the program are you in?
I'm in the first week of trial.
Okay. Good. How has it been so far?
It's been so fun and needs a lot of practice, and I'm hoping it's gonna be, as if I continue coming with the webinar and doing more practices, I'm hoping I'll have more change.
Yeah, good. Good. Yep, just keep going through it. Practice quite a bit. Coming to these webinars and volunteering like you did really helps. And any questions you come across along the way, either email me, or if it's close to a webinar, we can go through it together. Okay?
All right, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Glad to have you. All right, good. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go on to Sunny's words here. Let's see. All right, Sunny, you there?
Yes.
Okay, so this was an interesting one with some of these words that you have, because they had the dark L, but they were in the middle of a word that then followed up with some other words. So it brought some interesting ideas out. So go ahead and say this word for me.
So some of them not even sure how you say
so
correctly.
I'll do it first.
Okay.
So adolescence.
Adolescent. 4 syllable?
Yeah, so 4 syllables, adolescence.
Adolescence.
Okay, good. Okay, so what's interesting about this is you have the dark L, and then it follows kind of a voice sound, adolescence. So instead of it being kind of instead of kind of being open and you're not touching the L to the roof of your mouth, the L comes up and touches to move on to the next word. So adolescence, because you have to get that L in there, lessons, right?
Adolescent, yeah.
Good, adolescence. Okay, how about this one? So this one's anesthesia. So this one's interesting because it has a TH in the middle, but we don't necessarily pronounce that as a TH sound. So it's a little interesting. I think this is a word acquired from another language. I don't know the origin, but anesthesia, and it has the ja at the end.
Anesthesia.
Okay, we're gonna get that sti. Anesthesia.
Anesthesia.
Good. Okay, how about this one? Illustration.
Illustration.
Good. And this is another example of the dark L in there, but we have to move on to the next word, so we do touch the L. Illustration.
Illustration.
Mm-hmm.
Illustration.
Good. Consonant.
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 Nint. Do that for me. Nint.
Nun.
Nint.
Nun.
Consonant.
Consonant. Consonant.
Okay, and you're doing an L instead of an N on that one.
Oh, okay.
Consonant.
Consonant.
Oh, look what we have. Okay, hi guys. Welcome home. My kids just came home from school.
And you wouldn't answer the door.
I know. I was busy here. Okay, go on out until I'm done. Thank you. Okay, shut the door. Sorry, I mistimed their early release today. All right, consonant.
Consonant.
Okay, so that N in there, we really got to make sure it's not an L, but an N. Nin.
Nin. So your tongue had to go up to produce the L sound?
So the L sound, the difference between the L and the N, the L sound is more of a kind of a pointed tongue. Oh. The N is a flat tongue on top because it has to close off your whole mouth cavity. Because the sound comes through the nose. Consonant.
Consonant.
There you go.
Consonant.
Yep.
Consonant.
You got it. Yep. All right. How about this one? Cross training.
Course training.
Okay, you're getting that KR, cross.
Course.
Cur,
Course.
cur, cur, craw.
Course.
So I'm hearing course, and we want to be craw, craw.
Course. So
Okay,
I'm saying COST.
So you're saying KOR, and I want it to be KRO.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Cur,
Course.
cur.
Course.
So it's getting from the K to the R. Cur,
course.
craw.
Course.
Okay, so that one's a tricky one.
Course.
Instead of course, we want to be craw. Cur.
Course.
There you go. Craw.
Course.
Craw. Yeah, so that was a tricky one. So you're going to want to get that KR combination. So crawl, cross, crane. Any kind of a list of KR sounds, any sounds that have that KR or the CR, you're going to want to practice that R blend. KR blend. Okay?
Okay, I will.
Okay, how about this one?
Trainer.
Yeah, there you go. Trainer.
Trainer.
Excellent.
Trainer. Okay.
Trainer. Excellent. Okay,
Trainer.
so go through all of them. Adolescence.
Adolescent.
You can get that ending. Adolescence.
Adolescence.
Anesthesia.
Anesthesia.
There you go.
Anesthesia.
Illustration.
Illustration.
Consonant.
Consonant.
Good. Cross training.
Course training.
Much better. Okay, good. Keep practicing that because you're getting it.
Yeah.
And trainer.
Trainer.
Okay,
yes.
Good. All right.
I know I need a lot of practice. Thank you, Annie.
Keep practicing. You're doing great. All right, good. Okay, does anybody want to try these words before we finish up here? Govinda, I know that you had your hand raised last time, but we didn't get to you. Maybe Govinda, you want to try these?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's do it.
Adolescence.
There you go. Good. Adolescence, and it's third syllable stress. So yeah, adolescence.
Adolescence. Anesthesia.
Stesia. So get that. Stesia.
Anesthesia.
So ja. Do that for me.
Okay.
Ja.
Ja.
Okay.
Ja.
Okay.
Anesthesia.
Good.
Illustration.
Good. Illustration.
Illustration.
Good.
Consonant.
Okay, instead of su, do sa. So consonant.
Consonant.
All right, next one.
Cross training.
Good. Okay, next one.
Trainer.
Good. All right, excellent.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good questions today. We're going to go ahead and leave it at that. Let's see. Let me just check here. Didn't look like we have any more. Thank you, Olabanga says, I'm enjoying your webinars each time I attend. It's in the library, so he can't participate today. Olabanga says, Pronunciation Pro is a magic wand. It works and you should keep making it work. So a little words of encouragement from Olabanga. Olabanga has been through the 12-week program, through the alumni course, and he just keeps learning and improving, which I just absolutely love, because that's the process here, is you keep learning, you keep improving, you keep working on it, and you will get better and better. Okay? Like Sunny was saying, we just got to keep practicing, right? That's exactly it. So thank you so much for being here. I'm glad you're able to attend today. If you have any questions, just email me, Annie@pronunciationpro.com, and I hope to see you again at the next webinar. All right. Bye, everyone.